Hi, I'm Ian, and welcome to Ghosts and Bears, the podcast where we tell you the actual ghost story with the actual history in the actual place. On this episode, we're off to North Vancouver to a very special shopping mall in a very special place to chat with Lisa Hemmerly, who spent a lot of time there and certainly has some stories to tell about the spirits that still wander its halls. Coming up on this episode of Ghosts and Bears. Well, greetings to you. I am so happy you are here. Jason will be joining us after story time. He is, of course, doing one of his many jobs, but I'm here with you, and I am pretty excited about this one because this is going to be the first story that is actually a chapter in the new book, Vancouver's Most Haunted, which came out the day we recorded this, way back in October. We met with Lisa at the mall and had a really great chat with her and just got her to tell us some of the stories and some of the things she's experienced while working there. And it was a good time. It was great. I am going to apologize because the sound quality, I know you would think I'd learned. I didn't have the big recording thing I usually bring with me, the H8. I didn't have it with me. And so we improvised and we used my cell phone. It actually didn't come out as bad as I thought it would, to be honest with you. I'm actually pretty impressed, but it's certainly not the sound quality I'd be going for. I have spent quite a bit of time with it already, editing it up, changing some of the sound levels, taking down some of the treble, and I think it's okay. I think we're going to be okay. Just hold my hand. We'll get through this together. And we had a good time chatting with her. Like I said, afterwards, we went off and had a really good time at this corner store close to her house where they sell probably more plants than any kind of food or drink. And we spent an obscene amount of money on some plants, which, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm proud about that. But hey, it is what it is. So we are off to a place called Park Royal Mall on the North Shore of Vancouver. North Vancouver is its own municipality, but it is part of the Greater Vancouver area. I personally feel it's probably one of the prettiest. If I wanted to move to Vancouver, I think I would certainly go to where nature seems to be closest, I guess is the best way to put it, to the city. Just a really, really pretty place. Quite a few ghost stories ended up coming out of North Vancouver, which was great for me. And I'm excited to share those with you because I think you're going to enjoy them. So this is our first one from the book. This is us coming to you to talk about your particular experience or ghost story. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about sharing this adventure with the community and building this community so we can do this. And we were so excited to have Lisa be one of our first off the island adventures and talk about her and her ghost stories. So we're up to the Park Royal Shopping Center, which over the years has really ballooned. It's a lot bigger than it was. It originally opened on the Squamish Nation land in 1950, the fall of 1950, and it was Canada's very first enclosed shopping center, so it was kind of a big deal. It was originally built to provide services to the nearby upscale British properties, so it was always designed to be this sort of upscale mall, which was going to meet a certain criteria. And it is still definitely higher end in terms of the clients and in terms of the tenants. The mall property currently occupies over 1.4 million square feet with over 280 shops and services. So to put it lightly, I mean, at least in Canadian terms, it's a big place. It is really big. When I was starting to do the research on this book, I put out the call for people in the Vancouver area. Hey, if you have any stories, if you've got something you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. I mean, that's really where you're going to get your best stories from. And Lisa Hammerly responded. Throughout the 1990s into the 2000s, she worked at the Park Royal Shopping Center, various stores and areas on the site. And honestly, I was surprised. Shopping centers were not on my radar. I didn't really think of shopping malls being haunted or anything really going on. They're just mostly soulless vacuums designed to take your money. There's this whole thing on the psychology of shopping malls, which is absolutely fascinating, but I won't go off on one of my tangents right now. So when Lisa brought this up and she had ghost stories, I was like, wait, what? Once I started doing a little research, it did make some sense that this one in particular could be haunted. So I met with Lisa and her husband, Thomas, to hear their stories, and we just had a really great time and just hit it off really well, and they're both just lovely people. And so I asked Lisa, actually, and I haven't normally done this. I've done this one time before. The way she tells the stories is just better than anything I could summarize. So I asked her if she would, for the book, write her stories, and we would put them in her voice. And that's actually what she did. So there's 2 chapters of the book here, because there's the shops in Park Royal, which she experienced. And then she went to a different part of North Vancouver, not on the Park Royal Shopping Center, a different shopping center, which is why this episode's called The Ghosts at the Mall rather than The Ghosts at Park Royal. And she worked in a pizza place and had a completely different experience there. Again, the other mall was like just your basic strip mall and not something you would ever look at and go, that place looks haunted. So it was kind of interesting to me that, she had these experiences at both these places. We are going to talk about both of them, as I said, and we do have some theories about this. When this happened, it's still quite fresh anyway, but this is when the missing and murdered children had started to pop up in our media. If you know anything about Canadian history and residential schools, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you will by now if you've looked at a newscast in the last 3 months. This was a really big deal, and we all kind of feel that possibly this is tied to that dark history in our country, which is not good. But also just basically the whole different way that First Nations people viewed their dead. They, in those olden times, they didn't view them as having gone somewhere else. Their energy remained with their bones. And so the fact that they might be still there influencing the property or whatever else is going on, it's just a theory. It's right by the water. It's on a First Nations reserve. It's really not that big of a shock. So we're going to jump in, and we met Lisa at the mall. We sat outside and had coffee. It was a bit of a rainy day. You'll hear other people around us and dogs barking because it's Vancouver. Everyone has a dog. I think it might be mandatory to live there. I'm not sure, but I think that might be a possibility. And Lisa was great. She just told her stories very much as she had shared them with me, and it was awesome. So you get to join in on that conversation. You get to hear basically one of the chapters from the new book, Vancouver's Most Haunted. And I hope you enjoy it. And Jason will be here to talk with us afterwards. We're going to talk about our little trip to Vancouver this past weekend. We went over there to catch another story, which I honestly, this place that we went to on the weekend is one of the few places that actually freaks me out. Like the first time I went was with another friend. I didn't want to get out of the car. Like I wouldn't let her get out of the car. It would really upset me. So we're going to be talking about that place coming up in an upcoming episode. But we'll talk a little bit about our weekend and what we went through. And we'll also come back, circle around, and talk about the stories that Lisa shared as well. So sit back, enjoy story time, and here comes Jason, me, and Lisa talking about the ghosts at the mall. And here we are in North Vancouver. It's me and Jason and Lisa Hemmerly, who very kindly contributed to the book, which comes out today. Yay! That's exciting. So basically, Lisa gave us the whole chapter on Park Royal, and then the pizza place in the other mall, which we did not name. And so basically, we're going to get Lisa to tell us about what happened at Park Royal, and then about the pizza place. And Jason is going to be asking questions, because I don't think you've read it yet, have you? No, you haven't. Okay.
I have not.
So that's what we're going to do. So, Lisa, here we go. Kick us off with Park Royal. What was going on and what happened there? And Jason will jump in when he needs to.
Absolutely. Welcome to North Van, guys. It's great to have you out in this neck of the woods. Park Royal is an interesting place to work. It has a lot of energy and something that not a lot of people talk of. When you do mention it to people who feel things, they say the same thing. The North Mall is fine, but there's something going on in the South. I was chatting with a girlfriend of mine actually this week, and she said, yeah, the South Mall's weird. Those tunnels, the hallway to get to the garbage, that's not right. And she's correct. I've worked a lot of stores around that tunnel, and a lot of these stories happen there. Actually, the bookstore would be one of the biggest stories that came out of that mall. In the olden days, we got really excited about books, and and someone's out today, and we're excited for Haunted Vancouver. But back then we were doing a book party, and I was dressed as a bookworm for this event.
As you do.
And it was in between walking through the mall, and it was hot in there, and we were in the back room, and me and the manager of the store and my future husband and a girlfriend of mine were looking in the head, seeing if maybe we could make the fan work, and having a fun conversation. And we look up, and the conversation stops as a book from the stacks behind us, right up by the wall, comes out and shoots out about 3 meters and hovers, then does a full 90-degree turn, and then comes directly to where we're all standing and falls on the floor right behind us. And there was that moment, and nobody says anything, and I'm standing with other people who might have seen something I couldn't explain, so I asked if anyone saw anything, and the manager kind of just goes, yeah, of course, the place is haunted, and that was it. We just moved on with the day. And that store my husband and myself both worked at over the years, and your first job in the morning was putting the books back on the shelf, because the bookshelves are kind of like reclining chairs, so they lean back so the books don't fall down. Didn't matter if it was a book on the top of the pile or one at the very back of the shelf, they were on the floor in the morning. So lots of things moved, and that spirit seems to move around the mall too, because when that bookstore closed, he moved to the new bookstore that moved a couple of stores away, where the bathroom and the receiving area right by the same hallway is just as active.
Wow, so it sounds like the spirit moved with the books rather than just hanging out in the bookstore.
Yeah, well, and maybe no to a point, because the bookstore that we worked in turned into a little skater place, and years later I went to get my husband a present, and the two of us were shopping there, and it had the same energy it had working in that store, so I mentioned something to the cashier that my husband chastised me for hours worth afterwards of scaring the poor girl. But I asked her if the first thing in the morning, did she have to pick stuff up off the floor and clean up all her displays, and she looked at me and said, how do I know? Wow. And I'm like, I worked in this store too. And we didn't talk. She just put me through the till quickly, and I left her a little uncomfortable there, but the mall was just as interesting upstairs as well. I worked in a few different stores in that place, and by no means are all of them haunted, but some of them are a little more active, and was in a toy store up close to where the food court is now, and was closing one evening, and British voice, I hear clear as day, can you help me? And there was no one in the mall. The rest of the mall had closed an hour earlier, and I looked around and, yeah, sure, what do you need? And there was absolutely no one there. I had a young coworker working with me at that store who would also refuse to take any of the elevators because...
I'm curious, was this the South Mall? Or, yeah, okay, so it is the South Mall. And to put this in context for our viewers, that's actually on a native reserve. I don't know if most people know that. The North Mall is part of the mall is not actually on the reserve. So I'm wondering if there's activity because of the fact that it's on a reserve. Because I don't know if people know what's going on here in Canada. We just had a new National Day of Reconciliation. I'm hesitant to call it a holiday, because really it's not. It's a day to recognize and reconcile for all the atrocities of the schools, the residential schools. And it all sort of kicked off with a graveyard found in Kamloops at a school. But in that regard, I'm kind of wondering if that might be some of the activity, is some unsettled spirits from the fact that this mall is located on native grounds.
And we wonder that too. That's actually, it's a bit of a trope in BC that it's on native grounds, so it must be haunted. But that's what a lot of the people who do talk about Park Royal being haunted question that as well. And interestingly enough, the voice I heard upstairs was not the same energy that is in the hallway. And the hallway, I would claim, absolutely possible. Upstairs, that was definitely possibly one of the people that came over the bridge and was living in the British properties and was looking for some help. But interestingly enough, in that same area was where I got to meet a raven that had flown through the ducts and was in a room that it was locked, and it was a storage room, and it actually is exactly where the new food court is now, but it got locked in, and this sweet bird let me and a friend grab it and carry it out, and with the help of some of the staff that were native and making sure we respected, as well we should,
wow,
a raven being in the rafters. Interesting things happened all over that mall. Back to the toy store, young girlfriend of mine was terrified of using any of the elevators in those halls. And my friend I was just chatting to goes, "You mean the elevators that never work or work once in a blue moon?" So there is definitely that spirit there. And when I left that mall to go work at the new fancy high-end grocery store that was in the village area, I was quite excited because I had learned with Park Royal, once you leave the South Mall, things stop moving around you.
Wow.
That wasn't true.
Oh.
We moved over to the very beautiful grocery store, and I had the great pleasure of working in a cheese department and learning a lot about delicious cheese.
You can't go wrong with cheese.
No, and international cheese from all over the world, and yeah, I won't get started. But a cart of cheese is shockingly heavy. Very, very, very heavy. A wheel of Parmesan is 60 pounds.
Wow.
So breaking one is a workout.
Yeah.
And a delicious oily workout that everyone should do. But anyways, we'd put like 300 plus pounds of cheese on a cart. Right. So not surprisingly, they stay still. When I moved to the cheese department, I found the cart started rolling whenever it was around me and would smack me. It didn't matter if I was washing dishes, on the meat slicer, out in the store. And one day I was stocking the cart in the back room, and
well, I'm maybe this ghost was lactose intolerant. I don't know. I don't like cheese.
It could possibly be because I have another lactose-related ghost story to this. So you might actually be. I was in the back room, and the back room always felt heavy. It would be where we'd wash the mats at the end of the night, and I would sing on the top of my lungs because I had to put my back to the wall, and I was always never alone, just happily singing while I'm cleaning the mats. But I was in the back room collecting cheese, and there's a water well, so you can clean the floor and get water down. So I put the moving cart in the water well, and I put the many pounds of cheese on the cart and turned to go between two shelves, and the cart shot out of the shelf, or shot out of the well, smacked me while my head was down. And if this was a coworker, they would have had to go through two doors that would have made noise for me to hear them coming.
Right.
This cart just shot at me, and I lost it. I swore, which I'm not always proud of, and pretty much told the ghost that I knew he was here. I was at work. There was nothing I could do. What the heck did he want me to do for him, and to leave me alone while I was working, especially on the meat slicer?
Yeah.
Wow. And I didn't really mention that to anyone. My husband came to visit and pick me up one day, and my husband has dealt with the same spirit at the bookstore. He was in the dairy aisle, and the milk came out of the dairy aisle and levitated just like the book did in the bookstore a couple of feet, and smashed in its Avalon glass container on the floor in front of two other customers. And the nice dairy employee just came out and said, "Don't worry about it, happens all the time," and mopped it up.
Oh my gosh. That's a tragic waste of Avalon milk.
I know.
I love Avalon.
I knew you were going to say that because one of Jason's favorite things is the big chocolate milk and the big glass jar. It's amazing.
Absolutely. So yeah, Park Royal is pretty, at least for me, pretty haunted.
That's really wild. And then you were at another place. You were at a pizza place for a long time. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's a little pizza place down in Brooksbank. It was next to a now defunct movie theater and close to an EB Games, and great independent yummy pizza. And I walked over there and just kind of said one day, can I have a simple job? I just want to make some pizza. It was one of the best adult jobs I ever had.
Nice.
But it came with an unexpected friend. I didn't work there long in the morning before I knew I wasn't working alone, and it didn't take long for things to start going missing. Like, you do the dishes and there are no cups, or you make garlic and the garlic is just gone. Always the garlic.
That's so weird. So first you have a cheese-hating ghost, and now you have a garlic-loving ghost?
The two best things in my life, cheese and garlic, and they both became such a frustration. So we do set up, and very often in the mornings it was you and another girl, and I worked very often with another manager, and I finally just kind of, hey, is there anything up with this place? And she just starts laughing and goes, "Oh, we don't talk about that."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Hey, Lexi, what's up?" And she's, "Oh yeah, no, this place is haunted. We think it's a little boy." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it's a poltergeist." She's like, "No, we're pretty sure it's a little boy." And I'm like, "Okay, how do you know?" And he's like, "Well, things go missing and things move and someone's calling our names, and we've had tomato sauce jump off the top shelf with the lip and then fall down close to us when we turn our back." And I'm like, and you think it's a little boy? Okay. And I was getting more and more uncomfortable opening, and I'm like, well, if it's a poltergeist, everything's going to keep moving and my garlic's going to keep going missing. And if it's a boy, maybe I can reason with him. So I started bringing a little Ninja Turtle toy with lots of moving parts, and would bring it, and I put it down on the counter and go, "This is for you to play with. Please leave my stuff alone." And for the most part, that actually worked. And my Ninja Turtle would start finding its way on the floor or completely articulated in a different manner while I'm by myself.
Wow.
For the most part, then I'm like, well, this is me working with the baby, and we set up some rules because most kids are good with rules, and I'm like, you can keep me company, come sit in the back with me, help me make my food, and don't follow me home, you stay at work, you'll be my work buddy. And for the most part, they were good, with the exception of a pizza order, where we had 3 girls making an assembly line of about 150 pizzas in a row. And then we finished the school order, and then we went on to regular food. And the young lady working with us was looking for the garlic, and and it was in the lobby.
What?
Which is through a gate that is locked.
That's interesting.
From between our legs in a fridge, still cold, sitting in the lobby. And this is the same garlic I've seen hover many, many times and threaten to be thrown on the ground, and this is why the Ninja Turtle game was one of the few days I didn't bring a Ninja Turtle, because I was working with others and I didn't want to alert them. That poor woman screamed. She did not want to finish the rest of her shift. It's hard to explain how something teleports.
It is, yeah.
And we were just kind of like, it's the ghost, and we were asked to stop talking about the ghost at work, shockingly enough, because it scared the young staff, and understandably.
Don't you think the young staff would be more scared if there was no explanation for it? Like, it's not like this stuff's going to stop happening, right?
No. I'm curious with the garlic. Was it always in a similar place, or did it just go everywhere?
I think it was the garlic, because the garlic took the most amount of work. Everything else was super fast to do. And the garlic you couldn't waste was one of the most expensive ingredients. It took a giant, dangerous, fun piece of machinery to use that made a lot of noise and racket. And I actually think it was more about using the machine than that. So the garlic was getting hidden because garlic making was fun, and they didn't care that the garlic was a lot of work and a lot of cleaning. But when I left the job, and actually when you the comment about the kids, they knew. They were upset because their clothes were going missing, and it looked like people were moving their things, because the easiest way to say, hi, I'm here, is to take someone's coat and put it on the other side of the back room when no one else is in the back room. And it was actually, I loved the job, and he was great, or she was great company. And when I left, it was strange, because I'm training. I don't see ghosts, but I very much know when one is standing next to me. And
Same as me, yeah. And Jason too, right?
Yeah, I've encountered them. Of course I have.
yeah.
It's interesting. I had an experience recently where I had a hair-raising situation. This is tacky, but Google Maps redirected me. And I swear there was something in the car that said, don't go down this road. 5 minutes later, I was in a massive car accident. Mm-hmm. Someone turned left right in front of me, no ability to stop straight up. And I knew I should not have turned right to be redirected by Google Maps. 5 minutes later, bam. So yeah, I don't know what to say in that regard, but some of them do look out for you. So I'm wondering if this one with the garlic was trying to help you in certain ways to avoid things.
He might have been, or just having fun. And
he liked the drama.
He actually, where else can you get more drama than a store filled with a bunch of teenagers? And I mean, I loved it as a 30-something plus. It was so much drama that none of it, anyways, it was the best. It was the best for that, and that's why I thought Poltergeist.
Right.
Because
all the teenage girls,
all the and boys, and just everywhere. But no, it was his energy. So we're winding down. You can't have the pizza job. Actually, I'd love to make pizzas, but you shouldn't have that pizza job forever unless it's your dream. It was time to train someone, and I'm training a new young girl in the back, and I've literally feel like there's somebody tugging on my coat going, ask her, ask her, ask her, ask her. And I'm like, hey, do you believe in ghosts? And she goes, no. And I've got a kid sitting on the table watching her make food, and she's sitting going, no. And I don't know why I lost my kindness in that moment, but I was trying to make the new employee feel comfortable, not the kid sitting on the counter next to me, and said, oh, that's probably best. And I really upset that little one. I didn't get to say goodbye to him. He left, and a week later, the girl who didn't believe in ghosts, I found out, walked into the store, walked into the back room in the morning and saw a little boy sitting on the table, and that was her last day of work.
Wow. So she actually saw him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is interesting.
So that was arguably one of my more haunted places, and one of those places, why is a boy in a pizza place? I actually, going back to residential schools, I have a crazy theory that that's on the pathway from Deep Cove to where students would have to go to school. And
okay, so that could actually be part of it.
yeah, it could have been somebody walking, because that whole area is the same energy and the same as Park Royal. So
Wow.
That's pretty wild. Well, thank you for those. I was thrilled when you sent them to me for the book, and they were great to include, because North Vancouver for me is a bit of a to be honest, Vancouver has been a bit of a mystery to me, but having done the book, I've learned so much more about it, and it's really broken up into very distinct areas. Like, you cross a bridge, you're in a whole new world. So it's been great. Well, thank you for hanging out with us today. And Jason, Lisa, and I are now off to look at plants in a corner store, because it makes us both happy, makes us all happy, and hopefully we will emerge with some new vegetarian friends. That's what I'm going to call them. Other than that, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
night, bye.
Bye. All right, thank you so much, Lisa, for those stories.
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
That was pretty fun to sit there in the mall with the dog barking and the kid crying and the.
Oh yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, but we got it done, and that's the important part. And those were great stories, Lisa. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Now, interestingly enough, we're recording this on a Monday, and we were just in Victoria.
You mean Vancouver.
Vancouver this past weekend. What were we doing there?
Oh, we went over and spent some time recording for another future episode, actually.
Yes,
it was, Riverview.
Riverview. I always want to call it Riverside, but it's Riverview.
Riverview.
Riverview Hospital is a former mental hospital, also in the book Vancouver's Most Haunted, and it is one of the few places that we've gone to that I am uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was not very
being
fussy about standing on the stairs. I did get some really fantastic photos.
You did.
So I am pretty pleased about that.
And we'll share those, and we'll talk more about our experience there.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I thought, because we just did this Vancouver episode now with Lisa, we could talk about our Vancouver weekend we just had.
That sounds like fun.
Because we finally got to go to this restaurant that you wanted to go to.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, we went to Trattoria in Burnaby, and it was excellent.
It's really good.
Exceptional, yeah.
And then you got the meal for free.
Yeah. Thank you, American Express.
Jason is kind of a genius when it comes to credit cards. If you've seen Rain Man, Jason's like that, but with credit cards.
Yes.
So he managed to get our hotel room for free.
Yeah.
He got our meal for free. And that was amazing.
Yeah. Yes, I think the waiter was surprised. He was a lot of fun. I really quite enjoyed him. Yeah. I gave him a very healthy tip because, of course, it was Amex that was paying for it all. So.
It was all their money. Thank you, Amex.
Yeah. It's a good card to have.
And we went there, and then we basically did this whole other turnaround thing for breakfast, because one of the things we like to do when we go places, and we did this when we did our American trip, we like to go to non-chain places.
That's right.
Unless,
just like going to the chain the next night.
Unless we don't have the chain here.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why Red Lobster doesn't count.
Yes, Red Lobster or
the Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. I love the Olive Garden. So it was ironic because we ended up having Italian both nights.
We did, but it couldn't have been more different in a way.
Yeah.
One was authentic and one was Olive Garden.
Yeah, one was authentic. One was Olive Garden. But, it was good fun. Lots and lots of rain.
Oh, yeah. We've had pretty serious flooding here this past weekend and today. Lost power. We almost didn't get this episode done because we didn't have power.
And we even have solar panels. What the hey?
Yeah, well, solar panels are great unless it's pouring rain.
Yeah, exactly. They actually went into, I think, a protection mode because the sun was not... It was not... out it was out for a minute and then it was in the clouds. It was bad. I mean, there's floods all over this province. Some townships are being evacuated.
Highways are gone.
Yeah,
the Coquihalla, the main route through the mountains here is wiped out and will probably be out of commission for at least a few months. There are major towns are on flood watch. Abbotsford got a flood watch, for Pete's sake.
Yes.
So it's pretty scary stuff for us around here.
And where was all this water when we were having all those fires?
Well, this
bizarre.
is the way it works. It always evens itself out.
It's bizarre. But yes, I mean, we were looking at the new developments. It's ironic because we took our little electric car to tour around.
Yep.
Thank God we didn't get shocked.
Yeah, right. Right.
So we're watching these new developments up the hill from us. And because of the way they've cut into the mountainside with all these new developments,
cut the trees, flatten the earth.
Yeah, there are waterfalls where there shouldn't be waterfalls.
Big time. Like scary waterfalls.
It's a little weird.
Anyway, sorry, I forgot we went off. So we like to go to places that aren't chained.
That's right.
And so I said to Jay, okay, you're in charge of finding somewhere for breakfast.
Simple.
Very simple. So he looked and he found this place called the Prairie Cafe on the Fraser Highway. So if you're in the Vancouver area, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It is simple, home cooked, fresh cooked, family owned restaurant. We liked it so much we went there both mornings.
Yeah, both mornings. It was good and a fair price.
Really good.
We figured that if we went anywhere else, it'd be about $8 or $10 more than we spent.
Per person.
Yeah.
It was really good. Yeah. So if you like, breakfast is pretty much my favorite meal of the day. So not to eat at breakfast time. I don't do that, but I do like to eat breakfast like for dinner or brunch or something.
Yes, yeah. It was good fun, and it was interesting driving the FJ around.
It was. That was a lot of fun.
It was a little bit of fun.
So that was really great. And we also went to Riverview like we talked about, and we had that whole experience to talk about later on when we put that episode out. But thank you to Gina for coming and meeting us.
Thank you very much.
Talking to us about that. And it was a pretty wild weekend. And going to Park Royal, the mall, we went there because, that's the other wizard thing you do. You get things tax-free with your First Nation status card, which is amazing. So you had basically saved almost $200 on something. That's right. So that was pretty great. But it's got a weird feel to it, that mall.
Yes, yeah, I would say so. The Southern Mall definitely. There's two sides to the mall. One half of it's on reservation land, and the other half on the north side is not. So
it's on Gumsiwa land.
Yeah, Gumsiwa. Yes, for those of us from Gitsan area, we know what Gumsiwa means.
White guy.
White. Yes.
Wasn't that story your friend told about how he came back from a fishing trip with some First Nations people, and he goes, they gave me a First Nation. Shut up, Randy. Randy's with us.
Randy's with us.
They said he was so excited because he said my new First Nations friends gave me a name,
A chief title.
and a chief title. And the First Nations person he was talking to was like,
Yeah.
seriously? Because that's really rare. Yeah, no, they told me it's my special name. What was it?
Gumsiwa.
So that's pretty great.
Oh, yeah. Good old Gumsiwa.
Good old Gumsiwa. So yeah, so the one side of the mall is on the reserve, right?
Yes.
It's on that First
Yeah,
Nations
the
land.
southern part.
Yeah, and then the other part isn't. So, and as Lisa talked about, she thought that maybe just the one side was going to be more active spiritually than the other, but it wasn't. It turned out the other side was too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like the ghosts are like, oh, we need to stay on this side of the fence. I don't.
Whoa, that's provincial land, not
okay.
federal. We're out.
We're out. Yeah.
No, that is true. That is true. All right. Well, we are pretty much. I think we've said everything we needed to say. I did talk about how after we chatted with Lisa, we went and spent an obscene amount of money on some plants
Oh, yeah.
and the
we got some
bonsai,
nice-
which was awesome.
I'm definitely a big. Randy likes bonsai.
Randy
too.
likes bonsai. He likes to eat
He,
them.
he feels like he needs to add to this. He's a good storyteller. This
He's
one.
quite a good storyteller.
He has lots of stories to share.
He did do something funny this week. A friend of ours came to install some shelves for us, and he
Yes.
he brought a friend, and his friend said, "Oh, I don't really like cats." And our friend who installed the shelf said, "Randy's not really a cat." So anyway, this guy walks in, and Randy's sitting on a cabinet, and as this guy walks past him, Randy puts out one paw. Just a paw, just reaches out his paw and holds it there. And the guy looked at him, didn't really know what to do, so he shook Randy's paw and said, "Nice to meet you, buddy." And then Randy put his paw back down.
Yeah.
But now this guy's like, "I like that cat."
Yeah, he's like a little dog.
He is like a little dog. His happiest moment is if Jay and I are both sitting on the same couch, because then he reaches out and he ensures that he's touching both of us
That's right.
at the same time. So
Yeah, he's very social. He's like a social light.
he is. Yes.
He greets everyone at the door.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you are.
No.
He'll announce his presence.
Oh, in a very much a vocal way.
Or
Anyway.
he'll try to get out. Or all the above.
But this isn't really Adventures with Randy, so we'll shut up about it now.
Yes.
But we want to thank everybody. We've had some new supporters, and
Yes. We're very grateful.
We are very grateful, and Jason's going to read that list for us. I've been reading lots of Victorian Christmas tales to get ready for our Christmas episode, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with that. And then that Christmas episode is going to be our last one for the season.
Yes.
We'll have a little bit of a break. And then when we come back, I've been taking in all the suggestions you guys have been sending in. Please send in more.
We're looking forward to modifying the show. And
Getting a
having
little
fun.
more streamlined. We're going to start offering merch to our supporters. So that's going to be coming, as well as special episodes. And I've already actually prepared 8 of those special episodes.
working
We're
on
ready
this.
to go. So
It's a lot of fun.
it is. And once the new year starts, there's going to be Patreon bonus episodes and all other kinds of things like that. So get ready for that, because they are coming. In the meantime, Jason is going to say thank you to all our coffee buyers.
I would like to say thank you to, especially to our new supporters, Lisa, Karen, and Jamuko. And we'd like to say thank you, of course, to David, Carolyn, Greg, Haunted History, Spandex Guy, Catherine, Penn, Jules, Charlie, Sasquatch Mafia, Michelle, Jordan, Sandy, Kyle, Rebecca, Leslie, Melinda, Brianna, Myri, Steve, Christy, Tori, Sarah, Danny, Tammy, Arwen, Rick and Sue, Carla, Betsy, Michelle, Lauren, Pavakopu, Dixie Koga, Evan, Aaron, and Ginger Manatee. Thank you. I had to pause for a split second to try to figure out the pronunciation of those.
Those are definitely a different kind of thing.
You know, this is pretty much recorded live when you have to pause to sound it out in my
We're just
head.
not that slick. I mean, we've got a friggin' cat on our laps. We're
Yes.
just really not that slick.
He's
And-
getting a little upset right now.
Yeah, well, he can just get upset all he likes. So thank you guys for being with us for this episode. It was fun to go and record it go out into the field and record it. And as I said before, this is really what we're talking about in terms of coming up to you.
Yes. Yeah, well, actually, we're heading out to Oliver soon.
Hopefully. I got to get in touch with her. Time's kind of running out, and now the highways are out.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Well, that's why I have 4x4 now.
Well, no. The highway being washed away, no 4x4 is going to cut us through that.
4 low. We'll just use 4 low. Get through it.
So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the new season and finishing off this year with a bang. And I'm loving the Victorian Christmas stories I'm reading. They're so great. So we'll definitely have those for you. And then we'll start off our new season with a whole bunch of extras and a few tweaks here and there on the show. But otherwise, please send in your suggestions.
Thank you very much.
Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see changed, what you want to see new. And anything you want to add?
I think I'm good.
You think you're good?
Yeah. Well, right. Thanks to everyone, and we're always grateful for your support and help.
And absolutely.
We do have a lot of fun. We do travel around all over the place to do this, and we're looking forward to coming to the States. We had flights planned, but of course we canceled those because it was extended, and now. We're looking at actually finally crossing, but we were waiting till the
that special test
PCR test is gone.
Yeah, we can get into the States no problem. Yeah, it's coming home that's the problem.
It's the irony.
It is the irony.
PCR test, and it's like it doesn't make financial sense to spend like $200 US a person just if we're going for 72 hours.
No,
never mind.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it sounds like by. Possibly the 21st, it'll be abolished, the PCR test, if not sooner. But I think at this point, it's just, right around the corner. It's the 15th today. So,
well, and we're pretty excited as well because we, I think I mentioned before the reno that we had that was going to be done by August 27th. And it looks like it could be done any day now.
Yeah.
Which is November 15th. So that's good.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Yeah, the toilet actually flushes.
Yes. So we're pretty excited. So thanks to our persevering plumber Matt for that because he's had enough struggles trying to get electricians, and so we're really excited that that's going to be done and ready. And then we're going to have
electrician arrives tomorrow afternoon.
That's right.
Right. Wow.
Yes, we'll have lights in there soon.
Woo. Yeah, that'll be nice.
So, we're looking forward to getting the place ready for Christmas and doing all those good things and cooking up some more episodes for you, and we'll have some free time to do that. So, so thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great week, night.
We also are going to be filming soon, too. So we'll have another live, not live show.
Not live, and we'll see. We might modify that a bit.
We're not going to do the recording?
I think we're going to modify it a bit because Alex and I were talking about it.
Okay.
And we realized that a video of us sitting there reading something is not very exciting. And that's kind of what that show's going to be. So we may do more of I know what we'll do. We're going to do a special Christmas photo shoot with Randy in our decorated living room and fireplace. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So you get to put Randy in a Santa suit.
No. Well, we can put him back in his bow tie. I don't know where that went, though.
His tie's around here somewhere. There's a picture of that on our website, ghostsandbears.com. You can see Randy in a tie. He was pretty thrilled that day. Just remember, too, if you're looking for some merch, there's our Redbubble store, Ghosts and Bears. Don't forget to find us on Instagram and all those other lovely places, Ghosts and Bears. Our Instagram is doing really well. It's adding people almost daily now, so that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
And stay in touch. We really do love you, and we love hearing from you. So please do stay in touch, and of course you can always email us.
And a hi to our new friends in the Fiat 500L that chased me down when I was driving.
We should add that. We should add that. Jason had a brush with celebrity, which was very exciting. Tell everybody what happened. It was pretty funny.
I was heading up the hill, going to Costco, and I heard all this honking. And
and what were you driving?
Oh, I was driving the FJ Cruiser. It had the magnets on it saying "Ghosts and Bears" the podcast, which is kind of cool. And I pull up and I'm at the stoplight and this lovely couple opens up their window and says, "We love your podcast." And I just want to say hi to you guys too, and please feel free to reach out. It's always nice to hear local feedback, and
Yeah.
nice to meet new people.
Yeah, and it was so funny. Jason comes over and he goes, I just had the weirdest thing happen to me.
Not used to that.
The weirdest thing I ever had happen was when I was on that other podcast, and you and I were in San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
And we were at the Coronado Hotel in
That's
San
right.
Diego.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I was saying something to our friend Greg, and this guy walking past goes, "Are you Ian Gibbs?"
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
went,
a little bizarre.
I went, yes. Like he
What
was
is
going
the
to punch me.
probability of that?
And he goes, I love your podcast, man. And he kept going. And I was just like, wow, that was bizarre that someone would recognize my voice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
A few thousand miles away.
We love having magnets on there. We also have masks from our friend Alex.
Yeah.
Alex in San Diego made us these very cool Ghosts and Bears masks.
Mm-hmm.
We wear those, and people ask us, well, what's that? And it's a great way to talk about the podcast. So
That's right, it
thank you for those, Alex. But yeah, please don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes, thank you.
That helps. I saw 3 new reviews today,
Awesome.
and they are beautiful. So thank you for that. And anything that's going to help get the word out on the podcast is going to be helpful to us. That's what we need.
Yes.
Is people to know about us. It seems like once they know about us, they want to listen, which is amazing.
And that's
but
great.
we need to get them to know about us.
Yeah,
And that's going to be up to you, not us.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a wonderful day or night or shift at work or drive home or drive to work or whatever you're doing when you're listening to this. And no matter where you are, please remember we are the one podcast that tells you the actual ghost story with the actual history in the actual place. And we hope one day that place
Is with you.
Thanks so much. Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.